recording. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Film Hustlers.
What's up, Booze?
What's going on, fellas? Oh, I have one chip left here.
There you go. Get in there. Get in there. Oh, throwback.
Hey, that's old school. Oh, dude.
Remember
R.I.P. They
R.I.P.
closed,
Pink Taco.
Pink Taco got closed.
They did. Dude, lots of things are closing. I was just back in Santa Fe, New Mexico, where we shot Holiday in Santa Fe.
Did you say the Drury? What is it?
I didn't
Drury.
stay at the Drury, no. We stayed at, I can't remember the name. Oh, St. Francis Hotel.
Oh, yeah.
We had gone there to scout for stuff.
Good times. Good times.
I went to Bill Stanky's wedding.
Bill Stanky, R.E.P. from Beautiful Darkness.
That's correct.
You got married?
He got married.
Nice.
Good for him.
He got the manager of many, many successful people like Tide Pennington
And Lewis Roberts.
and Liz Roberts. No. But he's a very, very successful manager. He had great music.
Yeah.
There was 2 nights of performances and beautiful locations and great dinners. It was great. It was a lot of fun.
Do you have some reminiscing, like walking down the street? Hey.
Dude, it was really neat because for people who are listening, we did a movie called Holiday in Santa Fe in 2021.
Right.
And we shot it in that area of downtown Santa Fe. And it was awesome because we were only, I don't know, I'm going to say within walking distance of the set almost every day.
Every day. We didn't take a car anywhere.
You just walk over to set
Yeah.
and there'd be the set, right?
We even walked to a restaurant up the street.
Right.
It was great.
I
So
think one time we took a car to a restaurant.
Maybe.
I remember that. Yeah.
We went to where we had the margaritas.
Yeah, that was
Oh,
fun.
yeah. That's right.
There was a couple places where we would travel for
Hey,
food.
that was off the top. That's where you got in trouble, Robert.
That's where I got in trouble with the off the top. Hey, let's have dinner off the top. Yeah, off the top. Don't ever do that.
Be like, hey, off your top, Holmes.
It's end up costing you money.
Now I tried that out on the next food, and anybody told me, "Didn't you get per diem? Did you get per diem?" I said, "What a dick!"
You get your money, you get per diem. That's how you
Hey,
pay
that's
for
good
dinner.
enough for me, dog.
But I had a really neat time remembering the movie because it was. And I've been to places where I've shot a movie, and I don't have as much of a reaction to how much fun it was, and I don't remember places fondly. But this time, I literally walked around and I was like, "Oh wow, that's where the camera shop was. That's where Casa de Milagro was." I actually went to visit the donkey.
Oh.
Yeah, I saw the donkey, and I don't know. All of it was really cool. I remember that movie fondly. It was a great place to shoot, and I'd love to shoot there again. It's just, when you do Christmas movies, Santa Fe being southwestern is not exactly the most welcoming Christmas atmosphere.
You're limiting yourself to Southwest.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and that's one of my favorite movies that I think I've ever done.
But you know what it is, Robert? It comes down to the team and the crew that you're working with. Because when you're with each other for 3 weeks, you got to like each other, especially if you're a bunch of foos like us. So you got to get along.
Yeah, true.
It's fun, but it's work, and you get it done. As opposed to making movies great, but if you're there to work and show up in the morning, do your job, you go to your room at night, you go to bed, you get some food, whatever. We had fun. Every set we have fun.
It was a lot of fun.
The special part about getting the right people for your projects. You want people that you get along with.
No, it was a lot of fun. I remember it fondly, and being back there made me want to be shooting a movie again. It was so cool. Actually, let's talk about that. First of all, want to shout out to Bill Stanky. Congratulations on getting married. Congratulations. He had a really wonderful. He lives there now.
Oh, he's out of Sedona? He's there?
No, not Sedona. He. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, you're right. He left Sedona, and now he lives in Santa Fe.
Wow.
Yeah. So, but let's talk about that.
He's like a painter though now, right?
He's a painter. He's still a manager.
That's like a big hub for artists. My neighbor, who's an artist,
dude, enormous hub.
Yeah, they all go there now.
Yeah.
That's like the Paris of the states.
But let's talk about putting your crews together. Assuming you're doing a movie and you put some money together, what do you think the most important piece of the puzzle is when you're putting together a movie? And by the way, even if you're doing it for no money or $1,000 or $1 million, doesn't matter. You still have to
Coming from
put it
what
together.
perspective? A producer, a writer.
Well, I
think
anyone who's listening probably has to put on all the hats, right? So if you're writing it, you may want to direct it and produce it. If you're writing it, you may have no choice but to direct and produce it because no one else wants to take on your business. So let's just assume you're doing it all, like the way you did it, the way you did on your movie.
My core thing would be let's just say I'm going to write and direct. So I got to get good foos who could produce, probably you guys right here at this table. Then I got to get a good DP, probably Galvan, hopefully, if he's available. Then I need a good first AD, like a Sam. That's important. So Galvan, Sam, and then somebody run the line, which is the money. So like a Gemma, So that crew, that would be the crew. That 5-6 people would be my ideal. And then everything after that is kind of like, your grips and all that other stuff. You just hire local and stuff like that.
You let people handle their departments, right? So if you have a director of photography that you like, you let him hire the grips and electric and all those people that are going to help him. Yep. If your investor has given you money, normally you don't want to handle the money yourself. You want someone to take on the responsibility of creating a budget, then following that budget. If the line says, hey, we're spending $500 on food, on lunches or whatever, you want to make sure that happens so that it's not beyond that.
It's not off the top.
Yeah, it's not like 4,000 instead of 5, right? Someone that actually knows what they're doing. They can hire the rest of the crew. And then you're right. You have to be connected to your DP, your assistant director who's going to help you kind of get through the day, and
your producers.
And your producers, that are going to sort of put it all together.
The last one, which is more post, but I think is super vital, is your editor. Because if you're not going to cut your own movie, because sometimes directors will cut their own films, but if your editor's there, everybody has to be on the same page and have the same kind of idea, same vision. And I'm not even opposed to having the editor come when you're shooting. You know what I mean? Just to kind of see what you're working with. But now, and today, you could just start sending him dailies as you go, like you do, and you have them cut. You had almost a rough cut by the time we finished, right?
Yeah, I think
the last movie.
I think every movie I've ever done, the editor comes on the week before you start shooting, and then they get every night. Like, let's say we shot today. Yeah. Tonight they would receive all of the footage for today.
Yeah.
With whatever notes the director had from the script supervisor, and then they'll start editing immediately.
Wow. Yeah.
So whatever scenes were shot on that day, they start getting edited. And then as you get through the movie, you start structuring your edit. So a week after you're done filming, you should be able to view a very rough cut of the movie.
Yeah.
A week after?
A week after.
Script supers are important too. A good script soup.
Yeah.
I don't think it's vital. Like I said, my go-to is my producers, my DP, my first AD, and my line producer. That would be, and then my editor.
Yeah.
Shout out Rich Alcon.
Dude, Rich Alcon, the man. I think it's complicated because if you're a filmmaker, or if you're a first-time filmmaker, or if you haven't done it before, then you have to figure out how to take whatever money you raised. Sometimes it's going to be not that much. Sometimes you're going to go to someone and they're going to say, I want to see you do this. I know this is your dream. Yeah. Here's $20,000 or $25,000 or $10,000. And if that happens, then you have to sort of take it upon yourself to do the majority of the work. So if you're a filmmaker that wrote a script that someone gave you $10,000 or $15,000 or $20,000, and then you have to put it together, you can't really hire anybody to do the job. And I have to say, this is the most important thing I think I learned, is that no one is going to be able to do it better than you, right? Like when you did your movies, made in Mexico, you had to do it all. You have to be like frontline, handling the producing job of communicating with people. You have to be handling the job of sort of making sure that people are wearing the right thing. You may not be able to afford, for that amount of money, you may not be able to afford a wardrobe designer or costume designer, right? It may be you may go to your actor and go like, well, what do you have? Like when we did Beautiful Darkness, you got that deal from the guy who was
Sergio Tacchini.
Yes, but those were tracksuits, right?
Yeah.
So you went to our lead and you figured out what colors he was going to wear, what worked, what he fit into, and you were able to get that to be a perfect look and also say something from the creative standpoint, right?
Yeah.
But everyone else had to wear what their own clothes,
yeah,
right?
they brought. Well, we did have a little bit of a budget, remember? So
that's right. You're right.
Yeah, we had a little bit of a budget. I got some stuff off. We got some stuff off Amazon, which then some things we returned, some things we just gave to Emilio. Like he liked those shoes, remember?
Yeah.
And so he kept them.
He kept those, yeah.
And then we did have a small budget, and so she went and got certain things. But then Efron and Pepe and stuff, they brought some of their own stuff, and we kind of put it together.
So it's really about asking people, right? So if you're putting together your movie and you need a costume designer, you just start asking, like, would you be comfortable saying, like, maybe you don't know any costume designers, maybe you don't know anyone in the business at all. Would you be comfortable saying, like, oh, I know you love fashion, would you want to be my costume designer on this small movie? And let someone handle that, even though maybe that's not what they do for a living. Would you be comfortable doing that?
Of course.
Yeah. So then that's actually a great answer, right? So if you know someone that loves fashion, if you know someone who does makeup, maybe not for a living for movies, but maybe they could do a little research and help you out, you can do that.
People want to help you.
They do, right?
Yeah. No, they do.
Movie making's very collaborative.
Yeah, it doesn't matter really what level, like anytime you tell someone you're going to make a movie, ooh, cool. People will come out to support and help. You know what I mean? And then it's just a matter of like control. Like how much control do you want to have over certain things? Like for Made in Mexico, for me it was important that Lilo looked a certain way. Like I bought all of his outfits.
That's great.
Yeah, I made like, and so I was in charge of making sure that the continuity was there. Like he was in the right outfit. You know what I mean? Now I did have somebody helping me with like steaming and just kind of like the continuity of stuff. Like if we had to go back to one day and he was in this and stuff. So, but I made sure like before he got dressed, what he was putting on, what we were shooting. I'm a makeup artist and I didn't do any makeup. I had a makeup artist who came out for not a lot of money, and she was great. Like, she did the makeup and I kind of oversaw it for certain things. And then like the producing end, calling Buco and calling different places to see if we could shoot there and calling in favors and doing all that stuff, like I did my best to set that up. And then with food, it's just kind of like, okay, you're swinging by Starbucks in the morning to get the coffee. You're going by the grocery store to get like the bag of oranges and the bagels and like all the stuff, the cases of water or whatever you need. Yeah. Then you got Davey Dave who hooks it up. He helps out. You got guys like
fill the gaps. Yeah.
With the pigeons.
Yeah. So I think if you're making a checklist, let's just say you got $10,000. Get some people that you trust to do the key things, and then I don't know. I would you have to have a lot of faith in people when you're doing when you have no money. Yeah, you have to have a lot of faith.
But you know what? Even like Scorsese, even when he was big, like in the beginning when he was a film student in NYC, his mom would make all the food.
Yeah.
And then she just continued that tradition.
And be in the movies.
And she would. And then she just, and his dad, they continued that tradition all the way up until, till she passed and stuff like that. But she would still make food for the cast and the crew, and she was still in his films. And
what I liked about doing stuff at the beginning of my career, what I liked a lot about doing the work is when you said you had no money.
Yeah.
It was okay. There's nothing wrong with doing a project and saying you don't have any money.
Yeah.
Right. We did casting. I did casting sessions. No money. You don't get paid. People would line up outside to audition.
Yeah.
You'd say like you get a meal and we get to shoot and you get tape. Like I'll give you your scenes so that you can maybe, go do other things if you haven't done anything. So we had full on casting sessions. No one was going to get paid, but people still read. I picked people to be in movies. I used makeup, everything we're talking about. I used makeup artists that weren't makeup artists, but that wanted to do makeup.
Yeah.
I used costume designers that weren't costume designers that just like fashion.
Yeah.
And then I think the only thing that I did like put like little advertisements in at the time was Hollywood Reporter I'm sorry, not
No,
Hollywood
Backstage West.
Backstage West and Dramalog.
Dramalog.
Right, so I'd put little ads in there, like saying like no budget movie, I need a DP. No budget movie, I need an editor. Like the parts where you actually have to have some talent.
Yeah.
And I'd say like $100 a day or whatever it was back then. And people would step up. They want to try. They want to practice. They want to collaborate. Didn't always work out, but you'd be surprised how professional it can be for $10,000.
Yeah, well, build your reel. Remember, that was the whole thing. It was all about like building your reel because you needed to have a body of work. So all those positions we're talking about, DP, first AD, actor, like costume design, makeup, they need to build their reels so people could see what they've done so then they can get a better job at one point.
I think the one thing to look out for, which is really important, is like if you meet a DP or if you meet a producer or an assistant director, anybody, and they need a certain amount of people to do it right, then you have to sort of move on. Because, when I think about Carlos Gallardo and Robert Rodriguez when they did their movies, I worked with Carlos on 2 movies early in his career after El Mariachi. And he would tell me, he goes, we would get together and we didn't know anything about film. Like we didn't know how they were made. He goes, we would be like, okay, we would watch a movie and they'd be like, okay, there's obviously a camera because there's actors. Yeah. And there's obviously a light. So that's it. That's all we need. We need a camera.
And a light.
Someone operating the camera and someone holding a light. And that's how they did El Mariachi. Literally one light and a camera. Yeah. And Robert ran the camera.
Yeah. And then he did everything else, so music, everything, right?
I don't know if he did everything on that movie. Maybe he did. I don't remember. But anything's possible. You just have to get people willing to shoot. Because think about the pictures you take on your camera, the videos you take on your camera. I mean, if you had good sound and good music, people will believe anything. They'll believe that you shot a movie.
Good audio is
good audio is important. Yeah,
super important. But what also is really important is having good music. And you know where you can find good music, Roberts?
ExtremeMusic.com.
That's right. Seamless, baby.
You know what? That's a good point. I love that you do that now because I sometimes I wait too long.
Well, it makes sense because you need it. And it's
true.
offered.
You got to have it. You could shoot your scene and lay some music underneath it and make it beautiful. ExtremeMusic.com is the best in the biz. I was doing my most recent movie, and I needed a couple of songs because the composer actually is doing most of the stuff. Yeah. But there was a couple of places where you want something unique, special, something kind of Western. I think there was a line dance. Yeah. That we actually had to find something in. So we went to ExtremeMusic.com, looked up line dance, found a whole bunch of selections. Found one that was really, really fun. And of course, we wanted one that didn't have any vocals on it so that it didn't interfere with dialogue. Found that. I was able to pick a couple of songs that worked perfectly for the line dance stuff, and all because of ExtremeMusic.com.
But you could have even taken the music out, right? Don't they have that option with like certain songs that you could take the lyrics out and it could just be the instrumental?
Well, in this particular case, there was the main version had lyrics. Yeah. Someone singing like, hey, do-si-do, grab your partner, that kind of thing. Yeah. And then there was a second version that had 0 vocal on it, but still had a really cool jam. Yeah. And then they had different sizes of it. So, example, the first song we looked at that we used was 2 minutes and 7 seconds. And it had various versions underneath it that were like 30 seconds. Yeah. I think there was a 15-second version, and then there was like took you out to commercial one that was like 2 seconds long, 3 seconds long, just a stinger. Yeah. So yeah, you're right. They have all some of the albums and songs have sometimes 7 different versions. Yeah. Pretty amazing. Yeah. So ExtremeMusic.com for all your music needs. Yeah. Thanks, Teddy. That was smart.
That was good.
That was great. Hey, it's like you've been doing this for a minute.
Episode 103 coming to you live.
So Teddy's right. I think you gotta. Once you get all of those people together and you start shooting your movie, it's really funny. My first partner that I made movies with was Lorena David, who's now a big editor. She does a lot of our Christmas movies too. She'll be directing one of our movies soon. Really? Yeah. Oh, wow. She and I were not partners. I met her early on. She was a PA. I was doing extras casting, and we would always dream about making movies together. And I remember she was shooting something that she was directing.
Yeah.
And she came up to me and she was like, "Hey, would you want to be an extra on Saturday? I'm shooting this party scene and I need people just to be extras. I just need you to bring a couple of changes, like if you're at a party, like a coat or something."
Yeah.
And it was really funny because I normally would always say no
Yeah.
to something like that because I'm kind of in the business of doing extras and
Yeah.
it just seemed like something I would never do. But because she asked me, I said yes. And I remember,
Dick, I asked him to be a man in Mexico. He said no.
and I showed. You did not.
I did, but you were out of town.
I was out of town. I would have done it, but she asked me, and I said yes. And I showed up with like my 2 changes.
Yeah.
And it was definitely just video camera.
Yeah.
Couple lights.
Yeah.
Not a big crew.
Yeah.
But she was putting together like a real production with 10 people at a party, and it was pretty amazing.
Yeah.
And then I read a short, which ended up becoming La Femme Balone, which was a $15,000 short that I shot.
Yeah.
That's ended up being like 7 or 8 minutes or something like that. I think it ended up being 14 minutes, but we cut it down. But it was I invited all my friends to be in a bar. Eddie Soul, who unfortunately passed away recently, was in that movie.
Yeah.
As the piano player. And sometimes you just ask all your buddies and all your friends. I watch La Femme Balone now, and I see that scene in the kitchen. I see the scene in the club, and it's everybody I know.
Yeah.
Like everyone I knew at the time is in there. People I went to high school with showed up, and it was just a lot of fun. And I think that's the key to all this is that have fun, man. Invite your mom and your dad and your brothers and their friends, and just have them all show up and do scenes. Why not? They'll do it for you, and it'll cost you nothing except for a table full of power bars and some sodas.
Yeah.
And you make memories.
Yeah. And you make memories. Extra stuff. I mean, I don't know if I'd have them act because there's so many actors out there in any city. You can have your community theater, you have all that stuff.
Actually, that's a good point.
Yeah. So you'll find actors. You know what I mean?
There's a lot of great actors, but there's few great hosts.
There you go. There you go. So,
but yeah, you're right. You could do all that. You could invite like all your friends and your family and stuff. But for acting, I'm telling you, you could put out a little ad.
Yeah.
Put it on Instagram, whatever you got.
True.
Just tell people, hey, I'm looking for actors. Everyone will come out. There's great actors out there that I have not done, don't have their SAG cards yet, haven't done
a chance to show
any videos, haven't done anything.
Yeah.
Right? And they're just looking to prove themselves and to show that they've got it. And we talk about it all the time. Like I think, a lot of these great actors were actors that at some point hadn't done anything.
Right.
So you might run into one of those for your movie, and next thing you know.
Or you could find,
true.
like I did that little short film a couple weeks ago. We got paid. It wasn't much. I think we got like 120, whatever SAG was, the scale.
Sweet.
But the girl who played my wife, she was on Devious Maid. She's been in a bunch of stuff. Really good actor. And she liked the
Was that micro
script.
budget? Was that micro budget?
Micro, yeah.
Yeah.
But she liked the script. She believed in it, and she wanted to do it. So she came for that day and did her part.
Yeah.
Really good, dude. Like next level good. You know what I mean?
That's amazing.
Yeah,
if you're a writer or a producer, I guess it doesn't matter if you're in the business period and you're writing a script or you wrote a script or whatever, the better the scene, doesn't matter what size it is. Doesn't matter if you're doing it for $5,000 or $10,000 or 20. Doesn't make any difference. If the scene is something other than what this character or this actor has played in the past, they will want to do it. I did a movie, a long time ago. It's called Poor White Trash. I don't think I could have called it that today, but back then it was okay.
Yeah.
It's just a joke. It's not like there was nothing bad about it.
You can call it that today.
But we called it Poor White Trash. But anyway, so the script was really well done. It was by Mike Addis. He wrote it. He was directing it. And a bunch of great actors read it, and they were like, oh, I want to play these roles. So it was Sean Young came out, Jamie Presley, William Devane did it. And I remember, I'll never forget it. He came out, and he flew himself out in his own jet to Illinois for a $400,000 movie. That's how much it was costing. And I remember going to him and asking him, why would Bill Devane do this movie? You're like, Bad News Bears, dude. You're like legend.
Yeah.
And he said to me, because the scene that is written for me in this movie is such a great scene that I just wanted to play it. And doesn't make any difference to me how low budget the movie is. Right. That scene is worth it for me regardless.
Yeah.
So I think if you wrote a movie that's innovative, different, fun, exciting, and your characters are wacky,
Yeah.
then go after some big actors. You never know.
Yeah, you do never know.
Hey, man. We're podcasting over here. Anyway, actors are going to do what they feel will make them look good. For instance, I'll give you a great example. You did Made in Mexico. Made in Mexico's main character was very unique, different, fun. He dressed cool.
Yeah.
He was an off the page character.
Yeah.
You went to Lilo Brancato, who had been a big actor and had done a lot of big things. You didn't think you can get him, I'll bet you. No, and you did.
Yeah.
And for an unquoted amount of money, we're not going to say.
Yeah.
But something that you didn't think was a possibility, but because the script was so unique, and it's something he had never played before, and he got to act like a real character, he did it. And that's similar to the story about Bill Devane. He was playing a character that he wouldn't normally get. And as a result, they'll do those roles. So don't be afraid to ask, no matter how small your movie is, whether you're got your grandma and your aunt coming out to be in the movie, whatever, as extras, doesn't matter. If it's a great character, lay it out there.
Dave, you know what I just realized?
Yeah.
You know Roberts is responsible for one of the biggest A-list movie stars in the world right now? Did you know that?
I didn't know that.
Tell me.
Yeah, please tell us. I wasn't aware.
Ryan Gosling.
Why Ryan Gosling?
You know what made him a star? A little independent movie called Lars and the Real Girl.
You
remember what that was about?
This is very indirect.
You don't remember the movie? So he was an little indie actor.
Yeah.
And it's about a guy in Wisconsin or something. He falls in love with a blow-up doll. And that's his girl, and they accept him and her as a couple, and it's a whole thing. It's a funny movie.
I know what it is. I didn't realize it was him.
It's called Lars and the Real Girl.
Got it.
I.e., Le Femme Ballon.
Le Femme Ballon was out first.
That's right.
And
so maybe they saw that.
Maybe they saw it and got inspired. It's possible. Le Femme Ballon is about a blow-up doll.
It's a great movie, man.
Yeah.
It's a great
Le
movie.
Femme Ballon's
It's
about
fun.
a blow-up doll. I keep wanting to put that on our Instagram, so I will. I'll put it with a
We
link.
need to put, because you could put shorts up on Amazon.
Yes.
We need to figure out a way to put that up there. We could put up Beautiful Darkness.
Yeah.
We should put those up there. So
Maybe
that
we
people
should put them up
You
together.
ready for that? You ready?
I'm ready for
Why
this.
don't the Film Hustlers put out a compilation movie which includes Beautiful Darkness and La Femme Ballon.
Yeah.
So if you rent it, you get to see both of them.
Double
That would
feature.
be good. That would be really
Right?
good.
How do you do that?
How do you
Well,
do
how
that?
do you do that? Well, in Netflix in the UK, they have a whole short section.
Yeah.
They
I haven't been able to find it. I went on Netflix the other day to look for shorts, and
You have to change your region, the whole bit.
Oh, really?
You gotta have a VPN. It's a whole deal.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, we'll figure it out. But definitely, I guess the point of the show was to inspire people to go out and shoot their movies, no matter what size they are.
Yeah.
Because like we were talking earlier, there's product flying around every week. There's a new movie every week. There's new product, new series, new web series. I mean, there's so much out there. You might as well do it.
Yeah.
And because you may be the next Scorsese.
You know what's crazy too is I had a meeting with these filmmakers the other day. Well, not so much filmmakers. Yeah, they're filmmakers, but they're launching this app and they have a lot of money. So
What does the app do?
It's basically like for films.
Oh,
Like,
cool. So
yeah.
a platform.
It's a platform
for releasing movies.
So like Chicano Hollywood, a lot of people are launching these apps, these platforms, right? And they're all. It just depends on who has money, who doesn't have money. These guys have funds, they need content. Okay, so there's a lot of people who are coming up with these things who are looking for content, and they need quality content. So you want to go out there and shoot something that's quality, and you could do it now. You don't need millions of dollars anymore.
No, you know. That's what we're talking about. No.
Yeah, it's not like before where, remember the XL1 came out in the early 2000s? I was like, oh, digital. It was like a big deal, right?
Yeah.
Like,
It's a piece of junk now.
Yeah, now you would never shoot on
Is
Xbox
that
One.
true? It's a piece
Well,
of junk.
yeah.
I have 5D. I still want to shoot with.
You can use it. You can use that.
Yeah, I mean, you can. The irony is, like, now people
can.
You can. Now people are going back to, like, that
Retro look.
that retro look.
Hey, you shot on film.
I did shoot on film.
Yeah, you did.
It's true.
Yeah. Will I do it again? Hey, look, I got to be honest, though. You guys saw it, too. When we were at LA International.
It was
Looked
badass.
amazing.
When that came on, it was a different level.
It looked like Pulp Fiction, bro.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
it
was
looked
just
amazing.
a different level.
Yeah,
You know,
it was a lot better than anything that was showing there. That's for sure.
it
That's
sure
true.
was. And you know what? It was the longest running because it was a little under 15 minutes, but it went by the quickest.
Yeah.
You know, it didn't seem like it was like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it
Well,
was beautifully.
Go out, shoot your movie. Doesn't matter. I mean, you can shoot it on an iPhone now. Like that, it's getting crazy now. Like you can shoot anything anywhere. But bottom line is, have good sound. You got to hire a good sound guy.
You have to.
Yeah.
have a
We
good
didn't talk
time.
about a sound guy, but if you're going to spend money on anything,
Yeah.
it should be your camera and your sound guy.
Yeah.
Because then your sound's good. You go to Extreme Music, get your music, and if it's going to feel very big, it's going to feel like you did something very special. So,
Yeah. Sound is really important.
Yeah.
I
I shot
oh,
a
yeah.
web series and the guy didn't have the sound, and I hired a sound guy, and we had no sound, and it was it was tough because we were trying to figure out if we could pick it up off the camera, and
That's
we
hard.
couldn't.
Oh, yeah, no.
Yeah, no. So you just
So what
had
did you
to.
do?
There's too many tools these days that are inexpensive that will help you out.
Oh yeah,
What
you
did
can go
you
on
do, though?
Amazon.
What did you do?
I think we did. I think I had to go to like a narration, but it didn't make sense because there was no narration before. So then I had to cut that particular webisode with narration, I think. So it had to I had to walk them through what was happening, you know.
Yeah.
And it was just kind of like,
oh, you had to edit it without hearing their voices?
yeah, you saw them talking, but then there was a voiceover saying like what was going
See,
on.
innovation, man.
Yeah.
Filmmakers have to figure
That
it
happened
out
with
no
Made in
matter
Mexico
what.
because I forgot one of my actors. She didn't show up in the morning. She was like 4 hours late, so I had to cut, and we had to move. So I cut out like 5 pages, and
Wow.
then and so there was a big gap, and so we were like sitting there thinking like, fuck, how are we gonna? Because it had to be 82 minutes, and then because there was no narration in Made in Mexico before that, and then I had to figure out how to link them together because her scenes were now gone. You know, like those scenes. And
That's brutal.
yeah, but we were able to figure it out creatively, and then I took a lot of the B-roll. Well, I had a great editor, Rich Alarcon. So Rich started putting together like these visuals where like Lilo and I we shot a bunch of B-roll, and he never got out of character. I stayed the same, like I was just playing, but he never got out of character, except for one shot. You can't even tell where he's up on the horse and he shoots somebody, like, you know,
Yeah.
and he said it in his regular voice, but it was so quick with the music you couldn't tell.
Yeah.
But I just added, like, Rich put the cut together, and then I started dumping in VOs, and I did it on my phone. I would literally go in my backyard where it was quiet, and I would do it on I would go in my backyard to pick up the ambiance so it sounded the same. And I mean, not quiet, there's no kids yelling. And so I would write it, and then I would record it, and then I would send it to him, and then he would put it in, and then he would send it back to me. And that's how we got.
That's
and, you know,
awesome.
it was a narration. Like, it actually ended up working really well.
So then you could do your movie with no sound, with actors, and do a narration.
I mean, think about some of my favorite movies are all narration. Think about, like, Goodfellas. It's a narration.
Yeah.
Scorsese does a lot of narration.
So was it narration, music, and you couldn't hear any natural sound whatsoever?
For the other
For
one,
that
the
episode. Yeah, for that webisode.
yeah, it was just kind of like,
That's interesting.
it was narration. I think we had a little bit of sound, and, like, to try to, like, fuzz
That's
it out.
interesting.
You know what I mean?
That's interesting. All right. Well, I guess anything's possible.
Yes.
Go out and make your movies. We'll see you next time on Film Hustlers.
You got it right.
Finally.